Walking in the bank, go fill it up. We want all of the money. I don't need sleep till I run it off. They talking about cash and I want it. Niggas don't hate, just don't pay them attention. They want in your spot and you know it. These niggas ain't nothing but snakes in the grass, so you better watch where you going. Walking in the bank, go fill it up. We want all of the money. I don't need sleep till I run it off. They talking about cash and I want it. Welcome back to 96 TV. It's your host Cartel Ace, and we back with another one. You dig what I'm saying? So man, this time we're gonna get into a little interesting story, man. This story is actually about, my bad, I had to burp, but the scary truth behind the failed murder attempt of NBA player Paul Pierce. So everybody know Paul Pierce. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody know, you know what I'm saying? Cause Paul Pierce, man. Nah, I'm just fucking with you, but Paul Pierce, man, NBA champion, man, you know what I'm saying? Played for the Celtics for a long time. I also played with the Clippers, and then I also played with the Brooklyn Nets, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? He's a pretty good player in his time, for sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna take nothing away from bro. Bro did his thing. Actually, hold on. Damn. I had that AC on the whole time. I hope y'all can hear me. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it. It's 29 minutes, so we'll probably split it up in two. Probably 15 and 15. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what actually happened behind the murder attempt of NBA player Paul Pierce. My bad. I've been away too long.
Many NBA players recall the days of their youth where they visualized themselves making it to the league. For some, it was a dream come true. And for others, it was a lost fantasy that vanished never to return. But in both of these instances, there was a common goal. The objective within everyone's eyes was to be the one to finally make it. Yet despite the enormous potential for fame and reward, the life of a professional NBA player is quite difficult. Beyond the possibility of a large bank account is a realm of tremendous sacrifice and hard work that rarely pays off. As usual as the success of an NBA player may seem, it's not uncommon to hear of a professional athlete whose troubles nearly led him to pay the ultimate sacrifice: his life. NBA player Paul Pierce was just such an athlete. With his outstanding abilities and gifted physique, many considered him to be the most elite forward to ever come out of college. One that grasped the attention of NBA scouts, the very model of an NBA player. Yet at the cliff of greatness, no one could have predicted the tragic sequence of events that would soon follow.
I ain't gonna lie, I was born in 96, so you know what I'm saying? Like, when Paul Pierce came out, I was a legit, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how they really revered him back then. But they just hyped that part. I ain't gonna care. You had fucking KG, Bronny, all these niggas finna. But he came before Bronny though. So I don't know, man. Do Charles Barkley count as a forward? Because if Charles Barkley a forward, come on, bro. So they thought he was gonna be better than Dr. J.
With 5 seconds.
His slow ass. Hell no.
Now drives, double team by Arenas. The jumper. Got it! The buzzer! And Pierce has beaten the Wizards.
It wasn't the easiest growing up in the city of Inglewood.
I could have easily been drawn into the neighborhood gangs.
I was just finna say, my boy from Cali, I think. But yeah, he just said he from Inglewood. But yeah, hey man, my boy, hey, y'all remember when he got fired a couple months back, man? Remember there with the strippers and everything, bro. Nigga with the strippers on IG Live, I lost the ESPN.
You surrounded.
Fuck ESPN.
That you could easily be influenced, but I didn't have to be the cool guy in school. I was a kid that made my decisions and stuck with them.
I can respect it.
City, it drives you.
I can respect
to
it.
Be competitive, to want to be one of the best. We didn't have gloves, so everybody couldn't play baseball. We didn't have helmets, so we couldn't play football. So it was all about basketball.
Paul Anthony Pierce was born on
I
October
respect that.
13th, 1977. Originally from Oakland, California, his family later moved to Inglewood, California, a suburb in Los Angeles, where he spent most of his childhood. As
That nigga went for the Beta Inglewood, boy. And man, all the bullshit that I'm talking about Paul Pierce and that I'm going to continue to talk about Paul Pierce is because I'm a Lakers fan, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So fuck that nigga. And I'm a LeBron fan. He be hating on LeBron, like, bro, come on, like, you came from the same struggles. Like, I know Inglewood went too far off from Akron, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, so we ain't finna do that, but yeah, I just be on his head top, but
youngest child in a family that included the likes of 2 older brothers, all of whom he was extremely close with, he was brought up in a dangerous environment. At the time of his birth, with a total of 2,515 murders and 78,390 assaults, the city of Los Angeles as a whole was ranked one of the most crime-ridden cities in the United States.
yeah, that boy grew up during them times too.
Gang-related killings in
He grew up
South
during
Central
them
Los Angeles
times.
last month. The sharp increase there means that gang killings in South Central Los Angeles are now up more than 12% for the first 9 months of this year.
There are 70,000 gang members in Los Angeles County. Out of that, perhaps about 10,000 are hardcore. Hardcore means that they'll kill you as soon as look at you.
And with cocaine, the ugliest person in the world, with a second-grade education, is the king, as long as he has cocaine.
Most of them that are doing these things are kids that do not feel that they're worth anything.
Due to this negative revelation from a young age, Pierce quickly became exposed to the damaging influences and harsh realities associated with the streets, including drugs, gangs, and crime.
Alright, I was just looking up when was Paul Pierce born? He was born in 1977, so yeah. Teenage years, you about 14. You feel what I'm saying? So 10 years from that, that's 87. So yeah, roughly 10 really, like back then they was getting active in the streets at 10. So yeah, 87, he was in the height of that shit. Early 90s playing hooping. Oh yeah, my boy, hey man, shout out to him, boy. He made it through the odds. For real, bro. Like late 80s,
Growing up
early
as a
90s
kid,
in the
Pierce,
fucking,
along with his 2
in
older
LA?
brothers, used basketball as a means of keeping out of trouble. From a young age, Paul perfected his game on the city's courts, dreaming of becoming the next Magic. This made sense considering it was the Los Angeles Lakers of the 1980s that first captured his imagination, which in return led to basketball quickly becoming his passion. And he was good. However, as a young man, he noticed simply being good was not enough. While Pierce dreamed of becoming the next Magic Johnson, he still had a lot to prove as a player. When Pierce first entered Inglewood High School, he was, by all appearances, an average basketball player. His skills were evident, but he lacked the prototypical size and strength that usually signified a college prospect. So as a freshman, he was ultimately cut from the varsity team. At first, Pierce seriously considered transferring to another school. Nonetheless, Paul was determined to overcome these obstacles. After all, his love for the game was there from the start. So in an effort to make the team, Pierce began attending school as early as 5 a.m., which in return would allow.
Hey man, I just want to say before I stop this, like, I respect every single player who's even been drafted into the NBA. Every single undrafted player that's got 1 minute in the NBA, bro. I respect them, bro. Cause I grew up with them hoop dreams. I know people who grew up with them hoop dreams. I know dudes who really could have made it, like. And I know dudes in there, like right now, little homies. Like, shout out Chuma Okiki, you feel what I'm saying? Shout out Wendell Carter, man, you feel what I'm saying? They both play for Orlando right now. That's hard, you feel what I'm saying? They play for the same team, but yeah. But it was some other niggas, like, that could have made it, but man, that shit take dedication, man. So I salute every NBA player, you know what I'm saying? For sure.
for him to spend extra time in the gym and run routine practices with a few other players on the team. Eventually, his efforts would pay off, as the following year he would once again try out and successfully make the varsity squad as a 5'8" sophomore. Over time, the same scrawny kid from the streets of Inglewood would slowly develop into a lethal sharpshooter, one that would ultimately grow into his bulky frame and embrace his role as a team leader. With his spot in the starting lineup now secure, Paul worked even harder. His body began to catch up to his ability.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of his junior year, Paul helped lead the Sentinels to a 31
Yeah, he was one of them guys.
a division championship.
I ain't gonna lie.
From
Hey, in
Italy,
high school,
it
nigga
was
doing
clear
that,
to
he
us
one of them
that
guys.
Pierce had altered into a basketball
He
star.
dunking on niggas like that.
His senior year was more or less the same. Pierce became the #1 high school prospect in the state of California, earning a spot
got a
alongside
nigga
other
like
future
that.
NBA stars.
You got a nigga that had in high school, bro. I guarantee you, bro. He's hooping, bro. Chuba Edwardsdale, 6'10" and above, man. Them niggas is hooping, man.
Including the likes of Kevin Garnett, Stephon Marbury, Antoine Jameson, and Vince Carter in the McDonald's All-American game. He even participated in the slam dunk competition, losing to the high-flying Carter. It was during this time that Roy Williams, the head coach at the University of Kansas, learned of a player by the name of Paul Pierce.
Shout out to
Williams
Roy,
had
man.
heard
UNC
of Pierce's
legend, dog.
abilities, and so he offered Pierce to join him as a member of the Kansas City Jayhawks. Pierce would of course agree, considering he was trying to get as far away from the streets as possible. Not to mention, Williams had been a persistent recruiter, which in return earned Paul's respect. The following season, the 6'7", 220-pound forward began to adjust to his new team. In 1996, his first season with the Jayhawks, Pierce immediately burst onto the scene, earning Big 8 Freshman of the Year honors. By his sophomore year, Pierce was a leading scorer on a team full of NBA-bound players. That same season, the Jayhawks entered the NCAA tournament with only a single loss, becoming the overwhelmingly favorite to win the 1990.
My bad, I don't know when the camera cut off, so I just went back a little bit and we finna keep going.
NBA-bound players. Hawks entered the NCAA tournament with only a single loss, becoming the overwhelmingly favorite to win the 1997 national title. Unfortunately for them, a heartbreaking 85-82 defeat to Arizona in the Sweet 16 shattered Paul's dreams. Nonetheless, by 1998, his junior season, Pierce would make a recovery by winning back-to-back Big 12 Conference Tournament MVP awards, becoming one of just 7 players in the team's history to score more than 700 points in one season.
No, let's go back. Hold on, I'm finna go back real quick. Cause that's hey, we gotta highlight that, bro. Hey man, I don't really fuck with Paul Pierce like that cause he a Celtic. But hey, that's something to highlight.
1997
Bro,
national
who?
title.
Bro,
Unfortunately for them, a heartbreaking 85-82 defeat to Arizona in the Sweet 16 shattered Paul's dreams. Nonetheless, by 1998, his junior season, Pierce would make a recovery by winning back-to-back Big 12 Conference Tournament MVP awards, becoming one of just 7 players in the team's history to score more than 700 points in one season, and fetching a vote as an All-American. Overall, in his entire career as a Jayhawk, Paul Pierce averaged 16.4 points, 6.3 rebounds, and was viewed as one of the most premier college players in the country. As one of the top prospects, it was clear to most that Pierce was a surefire lottery pick. So when he entered the 1998 NBA draft that same year, it came as a surprise to most as names were read, one after another, and he began to slide down the draft board. However, at pick number 10, Paul's destiny changed forever.
With the 10th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Paul Pierce from the University of...
Very disturbing news out of Vernon Secondary School.
Let me see where we at. Oh no, we're gonna do 3 parts, bro. We're gonna stop it right there, man. Hey, shout out to Paul Pierce, man. We're gonna start back at 10 minutes, you feel what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to Paul Pierce, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that draft class was some dogs too, bro. Like, They was moving pretty fast, but I definitely saw Mike Bibby, Vince Carter. You know what I'm saying? That boy came out with some dogs, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Paul Pierce, man. We still got to get to, the failed murder attempt of him. So, you know what I'm saying? Tune back in. I appreciate y'all tapping in 96 TV. Until next time, I'm your host, Cartel.
Niggas gon' hate, just don't pay them attention. They want in your spot and you know it. These niggas ain't nothing but snakes in the grass, so you better watch where you going. Walking in the bank, go fill it up. You want all of the money. I don't need sleep till I run it up. They talking about catching up one.